Welcome everyone to the 2021 Australian Esports University League presented by Chatime, a tournament open to all universities across Australia to play, compete and have fun. And just 12 teams made this journey in the playoffs and only 3 remained. One team already secured their spot in that grand final. 2 teams now to battle it out in the lower bracket final in a best of 7 to see who will be claiming that spot back in the grand final. I'm JrTins and joined me is Kadius. And Kadius, we got an amazing series here in front of us.
Oh, absolutely. I had the pleasure of actually casting the game where UniSA beat Lethal, got knocked into the lower bracket, and that was already an incredible showing. And now, filled with more determination than ever to make it all the way to Grands. I'm excited to see how this one's going to turn out.
Yeah, and we got to see Morse Delusion and Pantry Wizard take on in an absolute battle. They really had control of that previous series, but it's all depending on can they take that back into this series? Can they keep the momentum going? Because when you make that lower bracket run, it is very important to just keep that momentum going the whole way, trying to keep the secret formula that's carried you through the long journey of the lower bracket out throughout the tournament.
Yeah, certainly does feel that way. I mean, as a team, they definitely were incredible, but I feel like, obviously going through UQU Purple so early on in the tournament, who also are an incredible team, just very unfortunate there. But I definitely think that, UniSA are probably the more favored team to make it out of this series, but at the same time, we've seen some upsets that have happened, so I'm definitely keen to see exactly where the series is going to be taken.
Exactly, and there's a reason that they're in this lower bracket so early. They're having to make this run because the Monash Ball Chasers, first time at least I'm going to be seeing them on stream. I know the players, I've heard of them outside of AEL University League as well. Definitely some players to keep an eye on and keep watching because there's an obvious reason as to why they've made it to this spot. They are a very good team, and to be honest, this is going to be the first time I'm watching them play, and I'm very keen to see kind of how they go and their kind of play style merging together as a fresh uni team, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen them either, so this is going to be completely blind, but I mean, clearly an outstanding team to make it this far in the lower bracket, no less. But whether or not they're going to be able to, take it to one of the contenders to not only, make it out of the lower bracket, but also maybe win the entire thing. UniSA beat Lethal, without a doubt, one of the best teams in the entire tournament. They're definitely going to have to, prove themselves here for sure.
Yeah, and it all depends on just how they can bring themselves together. I really feel like in best of 7, it's a very long series. It will be interesting to see just kind of how they play each other out, get the feel. I think there's going to be a lot of awkwardness in that first game, just trying to feel out each other. And really trying to see the kind of play style they're going to be matching with. But we do have to thank the amazing sponsors of this entire league that make this whole thing run and really are just amazing to have on board for this journey.
Yeah, of course. Now, our presenting sponsor, obviously, first and foremost, Chatime, their fresh iced tea. Make sure to go and try their new range at your local store today. Chatime is actually the fastest growing iced tea franchise in Australia with over 120 Chatime tea breweries with a commitment to quality ingredients and mix-ins and a flair for innovative flavor combinations to brew nothing but the very best iced teas. As well as that, we have our new sponsor jumping on board towards the end of the season here, Predator. Conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming today. Predator are the gaming PC partner of the AEL, allowing you to conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming. Predator puts power and precision in your hands, elevating your gaming experience in every way with quality and performance thanks to Predator. We also have AOC for the very best viewing experience. AOC are a global leader in monitor display technology. For more than 50 years, AOC has delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers worldwide. I'm actually one of them. I've got an AOC monitor right in front of me right now. Today, the company offers a wide selection of stylish monitors for home, office, or gaming. Indomie, of course, feed your game and try out any of their flavors today. Indomie noodles are made for carefully selected ingredients, the best quality flour and fresh spice from the natural resources of Indonesia, giving it a unique and delicious taste. As a result of Indomie's success, their range has expanded to 14 different products. And last but certainly not least, RIG headsets. What it takes to win. RIG develops headsets delivering superior audio for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. You can join the RIG team and enhance your gaming experience today.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about those peripherals a lot, and I always like to, because it's what these players are playing on. It's what they're looking at. It's what they're really trying to get involved. But we're trying to get involved in this series right now, and the players are raring to go on the field, ready to get into this best of 7. And without further ado, we're going to have UniSA on blue and Monash Ball Chasers on orange.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice kickoff here, and it looks like, goodness me, the team that we had, you know, trying to make a name for themselves against Beat Lethal are going to be taking out a goal in only the first few seconds of the round. Morse, a little bit slow to the defense there.
Yeah, look, I said they might take a while to kind of find out how the other team plays, but Monash Ball Chasers coming out with exactly what they said. They're ball chasing. They've started out the gate really rushing into the offense, trying to put the pressure immediately on UniSA, and that's exactly what they've done. They've got the goal up already in this game. Still plenty of time to go, and I think UniSA will definitely be looking to counterattack and get one back on the ball for themselves, but Monash really coming out with a firing starter as Morse now looking to go down field. Kevin up nice and early for this one, down to Cruzzer, good upfield pass, almost a shot on target, but Morse just able to get there for the save.
Yeah, Beat Lethal actually double commit for the defense there, which is something a little bit atypical of them. Normally they're very, very good at coordinating exactly what they want to do with their defense. They usually only, you know, commit the minimum resources needed, but you know, to see a double commit come out so early, I mean, it is only game 1, could just be, you know, a bit of warming up to take place. It's a little bit worrisome if, you know, Beat Lethal are off of their usual form in such a critical game.
Especially when we talk about UniSA, they're so good at playing that solid rotational game, looking for those quick counterattacks as Delusion trying to get a pass upfield and more. Just a little bit off target, so I am seeing a little bit of rust come out because, as we saw in the previous series, if you were watching, they did not let up on those counterattacks. Delusion, the amount of times a solid upfield hit as Cruzzer almost got for the own goal, but ends up being a great pass. Morse finishing that one off, and we go over tie game.
Yeah, it certainly was. This one, honestly, might not have gone as well as it could have if Freeze was able to block this one correctly. A little bit slow, though, on the jump, and Morse is going to sneak that one by. But this does mean we have a competitive series on our hands, folks, and I mean, that's always an exciting one to watch. Yeah,
Exactly.
between these two teams, definitely, I think there's, you know, players to watch so far. No Morse, you know, captain of the Beat Lethal team, has definitely made himself a bit of a star when it comes to scoring those flashy goals.
Yeah, exactly right, and I do love that you point that out, because Morse has been a front runner for this team, especially in goals scored, because I was talking about the counterattacks before, and that's where they find most success in this game. Delusion gets those long clears upfield, and for some reason Morse is there. Morse is in position, the communication is perfect, so that combo really between Delusion and Morse is something I'm very looking forward to in watching this series.
Certainly, Kevin. We're going to get a cheeky little attack on, but again, I mean, you saw Beat Lethal there going for another double commit on defense. Not exactly the worst situation to go for one, of course, but they're just, you see some of their upper bracket games, like their game against UQ Purple, where, you know, they were so solid in just making sure that they had, you know, one person there to receive the ball, and then they set up with a nice 1-2-3 every single time between all 3 players. And, you know, double committing on defense there kind of doesn't allow that to happen as much. So hopefully we do see Beat Lethal really kind of return to form, turn online a little bit. But at the moment, you know, this team that, you know, neither you or I have seen on stream yet, certainly making a name for themselves. I definitely didn't expect them to be doing this well in game 1.
Yeah, I really think the IQ, I know these players have been in the scene for a while. They've been competing in tournaments for what seems like forever, and all have really good accolades behind themselves as well. And it's just good to see that kind of, I feel like these kind of plays, if you chuck them in any lineup, they'll know their place, they'll know where they need to do to help their team. And when you've got 3 players like that, they just seem to be doing a really good job on offense as well as defense, as Cruzzer now finding the angle, putting that one away. And this team is doing such a good job at just keeping that pressure up and the communication between them.
Certainly is, and they're going to score themselves a nice little point over the side of Beat Lethal to make up for it. I mean, definitely doing some good stuff here, but at the same time, you know, I think it's really hard to take away definitive results on how a series is going to look just based off game 1, because, you know, it is a best of 7 series. Your ability to play the game is almost rivaled in a sense by your ability to, you know, keep a consistent positive mental game over the entire duration of the series. You know, we've seen some teams have really explosive starts and then turn around and get reverse swept because they just let their mental slip a little bit in those later games. The stress, the pressure, it gets to them to close out the series, and then they end up, throwing the whole thing and end up packing their bags and walking out of the tournament. So definitely things can get interesting as we head a little bit later on into the series.
Yeah, and a huge thing in regards to that is the best of 7. Now, for those who haven't played many Rocket League tournaments, you may be thinking it's 2 extra games. Well, what's 2 extra games? In Rocket League, that's heaps, because you got to imagine the amount of pressure these players are also putting on themselves, but the communication, the high-level play. If you're in a situation where you have to pull off a reverse sweep, that's now not 3 games to win in a row. It's that extra 4th game. There's plenty of things that go into a best of 7 that just make it so much more tiresome. And when you've got a great start like this, like Monash Ball Chasers have, Kevin07 putting that one away, they're setting themselves up for a great start in the series.
Yeah, not even sure how intentional that one was. He just smacked it at the wall right over the top of Mawson. It had a perfect angle to bounce all the way into the goal, completely uncontested. So if that was intentional, I mean, well played, 400 IQ goal for sure in that rebound off the side wall. But either way, happy little accident nonetheless.
Now Delusion looking to be the last one on defense here, but the pressure, 1, 2, 3 players all going for it. Delusion just able to buy enough time. Morse now getting back, able to clear that one downfield. Now Morse on the backboard looking for that infield pass, but does get demoed for his troubles. Kevin07 will look for the clear. That's all they have to do now. Clear the ball, keep it high, keep that boost possession, and they will find themselves taken away with this first win. 2 seconds to go. Monash Ball Chasers take game number 1 in this lower bracket final.
Yeah, definitely a very impressive performance coming through from this team. I mean, we just look at the amount of shots taken by them. Absolutely belligerent. 13 shots in total, according to the statistics from all of the Monash team. And that's certainly a lot. I mean, you only scored 3, right? But 13 shots, you only scored 3. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So certainly showing themselves to be a very aggressive team, really testing Beat Lethal's defensive capabilities. We'll have to see if they're able to keep that one up going into game 2.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard because we saw UniSA, one thing they do really well in that previous series, they had a good start. They had a good foundation to be able to bring, keep that momentum going throughout the entire time. And with just how aggressive I think Monash Ball Chasers are, which I do respect holding up to the name Monash Ball Chasers. But yeah, just how aggressive that they're being, I think, is really throwing off the consistent defense that we are really known from UniSA. So it is really good to see a team kind of come out. They know what they need to do to really counteract the playstyle, and they're doing it really well.
Yeah, certainly does seem to be the case. But I mean, normally Beat Lethal are a very aggressive team. It's almost atypical to see them sort of, having to play the back foot, having to play the defense against, a team that seems to just have incredible offense here. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can definitely take the pressure, the consistent pressure that's being applied by this Monash team.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard to... It's a best of 7, so there's still plenty of time when we talk about finding the secret formula, finding what they need to do in order to get past just how Monash are playing. And it's a best of 7, so you got a fair few games to really kind of understand, make those mid-game adjustments and find out exactly what you have to do to try and counteract their play style. Because from what I'm seeing from Monash, there's not too many teams that have this kind of play style where it's just full send, full tilt, full time, and it's really good to see. So they've got maybe one more game that they can spare before they really need to crack down on what they need to do, the rotations that need to be played, the communications that need to go through in order to try and come out on top. Because you give up one more game, you're putting the other team that much closer to that victory, and it's win or go home at this point. It is find yourself in that grand final, go up against the team that has made that easy run through the upper bracket, gotten to where they are. Now you're the ones fighting in the ditch. You're the ones fighting to get back into that upper bracket and really try and give a chance to that grand final. So now is the time that you really need to show up. You need all your players playing at that full capacity if you want to really take away this series and then even have a chance at that grand final.
Yeah, and with such a long series as well as we do head into the later parts of the knockout stage here, best of 7. I would say Rocket League is a game that definitely does require like a lot of focus. You have to be focusing on the ball, focusing on your players at all times, having, that spatial awareness and communication as well on top of that. It's a very focus intensive game. And, focus is in a way like a muscle. It is a resource. The more you use it for an extended period of time, the more tired it will get, the more it will slip, the more difficult it will be to stay concentrated, stay on the ball, stay on the game. And that really is, what these best of 7 series tests. It tests, the mental fortitude just as much as it tests the physical capabilities of these teams. And I think that's so interesting to watch, especially as we do head into the later parts. But maybe Monash won't even let that happen. Maybe this will be a clean 4-0 for them, proving themselves to be incredibly dominant and deserving of that grand final spot. We'll have to wait and see.
Exactly right. We just look at the bracket that we have up now. We can really see UniSA's run they've had to make. They dropped down, I wouldn't say early. They weren't like first or second round into the lower bracket. They did drop down fairly later, but it's not in a position that we thought the reigning champs would be in. Now they're fighting their way through the lower bracket. Meanwhile, Monash Ball Chase is doing a really good job making it through that upper bracket, only to get beat 4-1 by UCID Rocket League. And if that's the kind of team that is waiting, if these two teams are battling it out, and you just got 4-1, having to go up against a bracket reset as well in that grand final. So the grand final will be a bracket reset, which means if you are coming from that upper bracket, you have to win 2 whole best of 7s to take away the victory, where the other team only needs to win 1. So that upper bracket run just makes your life that much easier. I just want to say thank you very much for everyone being patient. Morse is having some problems with his controller, so apparently he's gone down into the basement to go try and find a spare one, as I believe his aerial right is broken. And Morse, if you don't know Morse loves to hold that down. Every aerial Morse goes up for, just hold down on that aerial right button. So they're finally back, they're ready to go, and we'll continue to find out who will make their way through that lower bracket.
Yeah, certainly. We'll just have to wait and see. This is going to be an exciting one as the game kicks off. Game 2 between UniSA beat Lethal, who are going to score themselves a goal in an even faster fashion than we saw the Monash team do last game.
Yeah, I think it was 5 seconds was the Monash Ball Chasers goal, and we thought that was amazing. And Pantry Wizard said, you know what, no, well, give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds is all I need. We're going to really counteract with getting that pressure on early. And Pantry Wizard, a very nice kickoff there, good cheat upfield, and then we'll get rewarded with a goal. But now Wizard is the last one back on defense. 2 players up for it, frees up for another one, no boost, but still manages just to get the save. Kevin with an amazing dunk in midfield, in the goal square, but unfortunately no one quite there to capitalize on it, as I don't think anyone thought it was going to happen.
Certainly both these teams, we can just have a little bit of a scramble. Tins, between the two, which one do you think, regardless of the result of the actual series itself, who do you think won out in the fashion department today in terms of their team lineup?
Well, if you don't know me, I was a content creator for GZ, and if you don't know GZ, it's an amazing Rocket League organization, and Morse is rocking their decal right now. OCE finally got decals in the game of Rocket League, so I feel like I have to give them Morse personally, just off that, the fact that, rocking the OCE decals, showing OCE some love.
Yeah, certainly. Got a bit of patriotism to him. Always love to see it. Hopefully that'll, fill his heart with victory and win the series for him. We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, Beat Lethal is certainly doing it for them now. 1-0 in this series. They've been able to stall on this point for, a good couple of minutes nearly.
And the defense is really the reason why they're able to do that. They love being in this situation. They love being up by a goal. I say that, but most teams love being up by a goal, but they find themselves very comfortable because they are a great defensive team. Their solid rotations, as I've talked about before, is what really makes them hard to score on. So they're putting all the pressure right now on Monash Ball Chasers. Can they continue their kind of play style that got them 3 goals in the previous game? Or are UniSA finally in that comfortable spot that they wanted to be in and are just going to really secure this 1-goal lead?
Yeah, might just be the controller diff coming out from Morse. I mean, he did go down to the basement, pulled out his trusty second controller, covered in many layers of dust, I'm sure. And here it is on full display, ready to carry Beat Lethal to their victory in this lower bracket game. But I mean, they definitely do have a bit of redemption against them, right? They did get knocked down into the lower bracket by UCID Rocket Log. where that was an upset. You know, nobody expected Rocket Log to win that game. They were going up against Beat Lethal, one of the best teams. And now they've been knocked down into the lower bracket by them. And they want to have, you know, a bit of redemption, as Rocket Log, I believe, are the ones waiting in grand finals for them. And so the rematch is there for UCID and UniSA. They just have to make it through this one game. But by the looks of things, Monash not looking to make it easy for them.
Exactly right. They've tied up the game. Kevin 07, and I do want to give credit more to Kruzza for the double touch, not even Delusion. Thought that double touch was a possibility, putting the ball in a great position for Kevin to finish off. And now they find themselves in a tight game where they want to be, and already seeing that constant pressure coming out from this team. They always have someone going up to the ball, someone applying that aggression. And it's worked out for them so far here, as they seem very awkward on defense. Morse getting beat, Pantry Wizard finding themselves in an awkward position on net. Almost an open net, but no one quite there able to capitalize before Morse can finally get that clear and just buy a little bit of time to get some breathing room.
Certainly a lot of aerial play at the moment. I mean, both these teams doing an incredible job of just fighting for possession constantly. Intercepting these backboard setups before they happen, making sure to just hit it back towards the middle of the field. They are doing just that. It nearly goes in though. UniSA with some clutch defense coming out, and now it's Wizard looking to make an attack on the goal. Kevin's going to be the one on defense to stop it from happening. Ball goes over to Delusion, but once again, Monash going to be fighting for control to get this back in the corner of UniSA's goalposts. And they're going to do just that. It's going to go over the top and freeze, finding himself a nice goal to recover from what was a very scary situation only moments ago. The tenacity and the offense of this Monash team once again showing itself to be the driving factor in the lead that they're building.
Yeah, and a very uncharacteristic touch from Morse. Just really banging it into the corner is not where you really want to put it. The ball is safe in the corner. The ball is almost unscorable from the corner, and to just kind of bang it out in the midfield, give the other team a free shot on net is not usually what you're used to seeing to this roster. But that being said, doing a great job to capitalize on it, put that one on target, and now they find themselves in the lead and a possible 2-0 up in this series as one pass comes in over to Morse and couldn't quite get the touch needed. But if that little pass play there doesn't show you what is so great about this UniSA team, where they can just find themselves almost if you know what a three-man weave is, just passing each other up the field to just try and get themselves out of defense and back onto the offense.
It definitely does sound good. We've got Freeze. Maybe looking to try and set one up here. Good waterfall down. No, Wizard going to stop that from happening. Great little intercept, hitting it back off to the side. And once again, you know, we are seeing UniSA all or nothing here. 5 seconds left to tie up this game too and take it into overtime. And it looks like Kevin is going to deny the possibility as he hits it all the way back downfield. And that is going to be Monash once again taking game 2, showing themselves to be so dominant in the start of this series. And they're already halfway to winning the entire thing and making themselves a contender for the champion of the tournament in grand finals.
Yeah, and they're looking extremely strong here moving forward. Just getting those really nice touches, looking for infield pass plays, but as well as just it's just keeping possession. That's all they're doing. They're keeping that aggression, always having one person on the ball, making UniSA really force out a touch, and we're just not seeing what we're used to from UniSA. There's no upfield passes, quick counterattacks that are the main reason they're scoring. They just seem really awkward, kind of caught in their own head with just how Monash are playing, and it's obviously working for the side of Monash. They found the playstyle that works well for them, and they're taking it with them all the way through the lower bracket, as Freeze now getting a big touch downfield. Kevin with the pre-jump, pre-flip even, but couldn't quite put that one on target.
Yeah, Freeze is looking to take this one downfield. UniSA with a little bit of offense here. It's going to go over. Freeze, once again, calculated patient play. He's going to be the one to wait it out. Weather the storm, comes out with possession of the ball. Delusion, we're going to try and change that, but my goodness, these players, look at them just absolutely taking possession left, right, and center. No player is allowed to just have the ball for free. Possession is absolutely being contested at all points.
there's not too much you can do when someone's playing such an in-your-face type of play. There's a lot of things you can do, but it's just working out in the moment what needs to be done in order to counteract, and it's not seeming like they've found that formula. They're already 2 games down. If they haven't found what they need to do by now, it might be too late. But that being said, they did improve on that previous game. They managed to only lose by 1 goal, so they are looking better and better. Just if they can try and find that offense that needed a good infield pass, but Morse choosing to back off, play the defensive route. Morse getting a touch over to Wizard. Wizard, an awkward touch into midfield. Cruzzer is up for that. Look for the top corner, but it might be an own goal off delusion. Morse just able to get there.
What?
I don't know. I don't know how someone else from Monash Ball Chasers didn't get there before Morse, but luckily they're just able to get that out of harm's way, and then that's how they get scored on. That is unfortunate. Just cheating out of net, and Freeze just banging this one into the corner.
Yeah, Morse missing that one by a hair's breadth. So unfortunate. But that was ridiculous. I think that's about as close as you can get to goal without it being a goal. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's almost Rocket League, the Rocket League gods smiling down, where it's like, you know, it was on the goal line. You probably should have scored that here. We'll give you this free goal there, and they managed to get one away. Now taking that goal lead, and if history will repeat itself, that goal lead is all they need to take this one away. Try and put UniSA on that reverse sweep as Kevin07 trying to play that one far downfield, but can't quite beat out the defense there. And Delusion just looking for a long clear down there, but no one quite there to follow it up, which is really what we're used to seeing from this side. Now Kev beating out one defender. Wizard, last one back, but find themselves in an awkward position. Cruzzer tries to put that one on target, but just blocked out. And now Morse looking to send it downfield.
Yeah, Kevin's been playing so well, both his offense and his defense. Definitely seems to be the star player here. Cruzzer, you know, a few slip-ups there. We saw him have a, you know, pretty much an open goal off the rebound there, but just didn't hit the goal correctly. Meanwhile, you know, Kevin, he's constantly playing these interactions very well, very calculated. A lot of patience as well. And Freeze definitely seems to be, you know, following up, setting up as well. Cruzzer, as I say that, making sure that he isn't counted out completely. Grabs himself a cheeky one here, goes below Wizard, and then over the top of the other two. Absolutely outplays all 3 defenders. It's going to be a nice, well-earned goal for Monash. And now 2-0 for the team currently in the lead by 2 games. You have to be sitting there as Beat Lethal and just wondering how you're going to get yourself back into this game.
We're talking about Cruzzer doing a great doomsy dish, putting that one away over all the defense, and then Delusion is just having fun in midfield. The ball control to bait out almost all 3 defenders. Just enough boost to put that one away. Answers back quickly for that goal that Cruzzer scored. And now they find themselves in the exact same position that they were 20 seconds ago. They're down by a goal, 1.5 minutes to go. They need to get going. They need to really get that offense started, as Morse will try and do it off the backboard, not quite on target. And now Cruzzer will look to send it the other way.
Morse here, trying to be patient, looking for the pass from Wizard once again. It's going to get intercepted up by Freeze, though. Morse is there. Hit it back downfield. Cruzzer, though, not going to let that happen for too long as he tries to get the double touch into the goal. It's going to whiff just slightly back down the other end now. Freeze once again in possession. A little bit of a retake attempted there from UniSA, but it's going to whiff wide. It goes over one. Morse, not going to happen to him, though. He hits it back. Now, again, both these teams looking to fight for control the best they can. It just seems to be that there's just one person sitting at the back of the field that is just receiving these hits left and right, not allowing the goal attempts to go on for too long.
Now Morse trying to put that one on target, but a great pre-jump squishy save there. Coming out from Kevin to play the one out of harm's way, and they're doing such a good job now at just keeping possession. All you have to do at this point is keep the ball high, keep that boost possession, and really just... That's it to it. You're going to bait the team out. As a great upfield pass from Kevin finds Cruzzer. They get that 2-goal lead, which is very, very crucial in Rocket League. 19 seconds to go. This is looking like Monash Ball Chasers are wanting to pull out the sweep. They want to put the pressure of a reverse sweep on UniSA.
We do see a 2-point lead, and 17 seconds left with how this game's been going. I think this is going to be a game 3 going over to Monash, and what an incredible showing. This could be a 4-0, Tins.
I really wouldn't have said it. If you had told me to predict this game that we were seeing right now, I would have called it almost a game 6 or a game 7, but just how this is turning out, Monash ball chasers are so dominant on this field, both in offense and on defense, and just overall ball control. I really am loving this, I would say, new team come out from the Uni League, and they are just putting on a dominant display. As I said, all 3 of these players are very good and have great accolades in their own right. You've seen the blue title coming out from Kruzza. I do want to point, did get that as a sub, but just great play from these players individually, coming together as a team, saying, hey, let's put in for this Uni tournament, and they've found themselves in the top 3 situation, now 1 game away from finding themselves in top 2.
Yeah, definitely well played. 3 goals to their name against 1. I mean, basically 4 goals to their name. They were milliseconds away from scoring a 4th there before the timer hit 0. So certainly, definitely an incredible team that we're watching here. I'm excited to see if they're able to make this a 4-0, but at the same time, beat Lethal. I feel like we haven't exactly seen the last of them. This could be an entirely new beast that we witness here in this 4th game. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, if we're talking about pressure, these players are very skilled in that department. They've been in this situation time and time again. They will be able to keep their cool and do what needs to be done to try and bring this game back. And I do want to point out, Morse making the car switch over to the Renegades decal. We did see this in the last one. He plays half the game in the Ground Zero decal and half the game in the Renegades. So we'll see if maybe that's what's needed. Maybe the Renegades decal is going to come out, grant some sort of superpower to try and bring them out. But I do want to point out, we're not seeing an early goal here. We're not seeing a 5-second goal, a 2-second goal. So maybe both teams coming out here and really trying to play maybe even a little bit more passive. But that being said, Kruzza with a great shot ends up being a pass over to Freeze. And they take that first goal, Caster's Curse, as I say it.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Great coordination between all 3 members of Monash. They go for the triple commit on the offense, but they don't let it be punished, as it is going to go in for sure. Only took them about 45 seconds to nail that one down, which is slower than their previous games for sure to see the first goal, but nevertheless. But it does look like Delusion going to be scoring a much quicker one, only about 5 seconds on that goal for UniSA.
Yeah, that's a very good play from Wizard there, beating out 2 defenders to give Delusion the open net. Third player nowhere to be seen, so Wizard coming up huge with that one to tie the game here, but still a mountain to climb for this UniSA team if they're going to beat such a well-oiled machine that is Monash ball chasers, as Freeze now looking to get that goal started here, but good dunk in midfield will stop that attempt from happening, but they're not over yet. Those quick turns in midfield, the quick regain of that ball control. Now looking for the infield pass. No one quite there. Morse will be throwing that one downfield. Kruzza with a good read. The Wizard going to have to play this one to the corner.
Yeah, we are seeing Kevin. Once again, Kevin, I would say, is a player on this lineup that he doesn't have a ton of goals. You see on the, shots taken and goals statistic at the end, he is usually the lowest of the 3, but that's because, he does this. He sits back, he waits, tries to take possession of the ball and set up his team. And he's doing just that right here. He's going to set up Freeze. He's going to look to hit it towards the midfield. Unfortunately, Kruzza not quite in the right position there. And now they're in a bit of a scary situation as UniSA looking to put the offense on.
It's amazing to just see the offensive pressure. I've said it time and time again, but they're forcing UniSA to throw away the ball when they finally do get possession. And all they're doing is booming the ball straight back onto their backboard, putting that pressure alive. But the counterattack is just what they needed. And it's just what Delusion is going to order for this team. Morse with a great EU clear. Waterfall down, one of the hardest reads in Rocket League. And Delusion there perfectly. They get that gold lead. Probably the latest time in the game that they've had that lead. So they've got less time to try and hold this on. And maybe they can hold it on for the rest of the time and try and keep their hopes alive in this series.
Yeah, definitely, though, not the first time they've had a lead in this series. And if anything, this Monash team seems to just turn on when they've got their backs against the wall. And they are seriously looking to try and take back these next couple of points in only the 2 minutes that we have remaining in the round.
What a demo coming out there as well. That was insane, but just couldn't get the shot on target. But a triple commit in the net. And if you haven't followed this UniSA team, something is wrong. They don't do that very often. And now they're doing it constantly, and that just seems to be the pressure and the kind of frustration coming out from UniSA, because that is how well Monash Ball Chasers are playing this one, trying to center down for Freeze. Freeze will play off the backboard. Kevin found themselves a little bit too cheated up there, and now we'll have to back off, try and play a little bit slower as their team look to regain possession. Kevin with a great 50 in midfield. Now Wizard beats out one defender. They have done this in the past. Beats out one, beats out two, goes for the fake, but a little bit too hard of a hit on field. Delusion there to follow that one up. Morse now looking for the backboard touch. Maybe not enough boost to get back to it, just off target. And these players are doing everything they can. What a shot from Wizard, but it's just high. They just can't get a goal, but they're doing a great job at buying themselves time, because there's now a minute and 20 seconds to go, and they still have that lead.
Yep, they only have to hold on for about a minute 13. You're correct there. Will they be able to do it, though, is the question. With their back against the wall, you're totally right about the triple commit. You know, I was talking in game one how atypical it was to see this UniSA team go for double commits, let alone triple. And definitely that is just a sign of the nerves against them. Their ability to, you know, calculatedly decide, okay, who's going to be expending which resource where, how are we going to be playing as a team. I'm going to go for the ball, I'll pass over this way. You know, this coordination that we're typical of seeing out of the UniSA roster, just not quite present in the same way as it normally is. But might be good enough to get them this game 4. We'll have to wait and see. 30 seconds are left. All they have to do is buy themselves some time. That is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, if you're beating out multiple defenders in a possession, that is beautiful, as we saw Delusion beating out 2 defenders there. And now they're to keep that pressure alive, almost for the follow-up as well in field, but both players find themselves backing off there, which is all they need to do. They need to play the defensive route. There's no point sending so many people upfield as a backboard touch, but Morse with a great clear downfield. Kevin 07's too tough angle to read that one. Ball touches ground, and UniSA get their first win of the series, and just an inch away from starting that reverse sweep. But what a mountain to climb if they're looking to win the next 3 games.
Yes, certainly. My heart sank when I saw that ball going towards the goal. I was like, don't tell me that goes in. But no, the backboard, the savior, stopped it just in the nick of time. And that is going to be UniSA walking away with their first victory in this best of 7. But again, they have to win 3 games back-to-back without dropping a single one. They have to play some of the best Rocket League they've ever played in their life if they're looking to make it all the way to grand finals.
Yeah, if one game was hard enough, it took 3 losses to find out the secret formula to get 1 win. And now they just have to do that 3 more times in the top 3 situations. So a huge ask for this team, and we will find out whether they will answer that call. As Cruzzer now looking for that in field. Freeze is playing nice and close. Actually goes for the slow touch. Ends up being a great pass, but Kevin couldn't quite find the touch needed to put that on target. And now Morse trying everything they can to try and get this clear downfield. Delusion on the backboard. Kevin will take possession, and Freeze looking to clear it out.
Yeah, Freeze has played super well for this team, and Delusion is going to grab the first goal. And that's exactly what you want to see if you are, you know, the UniSA roster. Putting themselves up 1-0 in the first minute. They just have to defend it. They did it once, they can certainly do it again.
Yeah, now I wish Formal was here, because Formal I love arguing with him in terms of what is an own goal. Because if you talk about OCE, first thing that comes to your mind when you think of pro play is own goaling. It's just something that we're famous for, and we poke fun at a lot. And I do want to say that was an own goal there from Kevin 07, as the ball was in a savable position. Kevin got the last touch, so look, I'm going to count that as an own goal in my book. So we've got the first one in this series out of the way. So I think all players can really rest easy now, knowing that that own goal is already been achieved here in this series, so the players can rest easy as Delusion gets a nice dunk there, but a good demo might give Freeze an open net. Couldn't quite get the touch needed. Morse looking to clear it out, but Kruzza keeping that pressure alive, looking for the 50. Delusion with great control, beats out two defenders now. Just looking to get enough boost to try and center this one to Morse, waiting in field. Up nice and early shot on target, but Kruzza with a save. And now looking to clear out.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about these teams, once you do reach kind of the peak level of the tournament that we're seeing here, is certain situations that, you know, lower caliber teams that fell maybe lower in the knockout stage would, you know, allowed to happen all the time. These teams absolutely do not allow to happen ever. Like, see a situation like that where there are defenders around from UniSA, and then, you know, the Monash ball chasers go for a bit of a waterfall play down right in front of the goal, try to just set it up and just bounce it in as it comes down. But they absolutely do not allow that to happen. They intercept it before it hits the attacking player. And, you know, they're able to turn it around. And they're able to, you know, grab themselves a goal. Monash ball chasers 1-0. Sorry, 1-1, I should say, in this game.
Yeah, and a really nice shot coming up, and a really good pass as well. Just going to give credit to Kevin's infield receiving in that previous goal there. Able to put that one in nice and fast into the bottom corner. And now following it up with a great pinch pass off that really awkward spot in the backboard. Kruzza being there for the great play. And they do find themselves with that lead. And it just always seems to be UniSA find that first goal and then are immediately turned around by Monash. They've got that goal lead. This is a dangerous position. We've seen this plenty of times before where UniSA just aren't able to come back. But as I say that, a great pass from Delusion over to Morse. Able to tie up this game nice and early. 2.5 minutes to go in this game. We have a tie game here.
Yeah, 2-2. And again, you know, UniSA, if there's anything that you hate more, it's being in this sort of a situation where you are just forced to get yourself a goal. You've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and you know that if you don't score, you lose the entire series, not just the game. You have to get this one up over the side of Monash in order to win. And there's probably not that much time to be able to, you know, allow them to take a goal and then try and get two back in your favor. But nevertheless, they're able to do it. They put themselves up over the top of Monash. 3-2 now. And they just have to hold this position for 2 minutes in order to take the series to a 2-3.
Wizard flirting with that one right there. I want to see the moment. I think you can even see the moment where Wizard's heart sank. Or sunk, sorry, after that first touch, not being exactly on target. Luckily, does get the pinch off the sidebar to put that one away, but they do just what they needed. As you said, they got that goal. They're now in that situation that they like being in. They can play the defensive game. They can rotate deep on the field and really just allow the game to really come to them. As Delusion now looking to maybe even get another goal, keep that pressure alive, get that second goal, that security goal in this game. But a quick shot, actually. Sorry, past midfield by Wizard. Quick counter-attack there as Kruzza tries to put that one on target, but Morse rotated deep back, so will find themselves with plenty of time to get the clear.
Yeah, Delusion's ball handling skills have been so impressive in this, like, the last couple of games, really. Every single time this guy gets possession, it's pretty much just magic watching him either, you know, maneuver a very well-placed pass or set up a very good play through the enemy defense, or, you know, set up a goal for himself or set someone else up for a goal. He's just so good at doing everything, really playing patiently with the ball. As I say that, you know, looking to take it past Kevin and Cruz right here. He gets it past one. Kevin, fortunately, going to hit that one a little lower than he would have liked, and it's going to allow Morse to nearly steal himself away a goal. But now it is going to hit up off the backboard, and now they're going to have to find themselves another angle of attack here. But Kevin not allowing it, going to hit that one downfield. Morse is there for the defense.
Just trying to beat out a defender with every touch, and that's one thing they're doing really well. When they're giving away possession, they're making sure they're either beating out a player, passing to a teammate, or passing to themselves in a way. And it's really good to see, because that's what they need to do. Delusion with a nice fast aerial to beat out that defender. Freeze with time in midfield, but constant aggression on this ball is just giving no time for the Monash ball chasers to set something up, and Kevin just puts that one away to tie up the game. 6 seconds to go. Kruzza getting a great 50 and awkward, fake even into midfield, and Kevin having an open net to shoot at. Tie game in game number 5. Monash just 1 goal away from taking the series.
Yeah, 5 seconds left, but I mean, we've seen 2 goals in this series scored in less than that. We'll have to wait and see if someone's able to pull it off. Kevin? No, it is going to go to overtime, and this is where it gets serious. If you're a UniSA here, you are sweating. If you drop this ball, you are packing, sent all the way home, and it's going to be Monash ball chasers making their way to the grand finals. The pressure is going to be at its absolute limit. Not only for UniSA, but I'm sure Monash as well. The pressure to close the series out, not allow this to go to a game 4, or a game 6, I should say.
Yeah, we see plenty of times those game 6s are very dangerous for the team that's putting off the reverse sweep. I would like to say majority of the time, at least in my time casting, game 6 always goes to the underdog team, the team that's trying to pull off that reverse sweep, so it's not in a position that you want to be in. You want to close out this series here. You want to put an end to it. You don't want to give any more time for this UniSA to get better and better, which is what they have been doing as the time goes on. Now in an awkward position, Delusion just able to get that clear downfield, but Kruzza keeping that pressure alive. Beats out Delusion, but Morse there for a long clear downfield. Wizard nowhere to be seen, but almost going for the ball freeze on the goal line, almost in a tragic ending there, but just able to clear that one downfield.
Could you imagine if the game is ended in an own goal there from Freeze, and that is what allows UniSA to pull back the reverse sweep? He would honestly just uninstall the game at that point, but it is going to be Freeze stealing that one away over the top. Nicely done. Pass to the right from Kevin. Freeze just sinks it all the way downfield, and Wizard was a little bit too far back for the defense, and that is going to be Monash sealing up the series and looking to take UCID Rocket Log on in the grand finals. And obviously, UniSA beat Lethal, an incredible team this season. Not one to forget, but unfortunately, this is going to be the end of their journey in the AEL Uni League for Season 2.
And such a heartbreaking ending as well, just not getting the starts of the series. And by the time they finally started to show signs of life, it was too little, too late. Monash were on a tear, and there was no way to stop them, dropping into this position to the lower bracket, getting 4-1'd, and now 4-1ing the team that they needed to beat to get back into that rematch, and they will find themselves in that grand final. And I just want to give credit to Kevin in that final play, not only getting the pass over to Freeze with a shot on target, but going for the demo. I think Pantry Wizard was stuck in net, worried more about the demo than the oncoming ball that was headed towards their net, and just a beautiful play from Monash. Really, justice, a goal that gives their whole team justice as their aggressive kind of play style, and that's how they finish that one off in OT. They get the win, and they find themselves in that grand final.
Yeah, very dominant team for sure. The offense was spectacular. I don't think we've ever seen, I would consider UniSA beat Lethal to be a very, offensive team. Morse, as we mentioned earlier on in this series, a bit of a star player when it comes to scoring those fancy trick shots on goal. But, to be a team that is able to take the offense to beat Lethal and, kind of beat them at their own game in a way, scoring some incredibly nice goals right over the top of their defense and under their defense sometimes. It's a well-earned win and certainly a well-earned place in the grand finals. And whether or not they're going to be able to, take it to Rocket Log, who, are also a team that were able to take out beat Lethal. So I guess this is going to be the battle of the beat Lethal exterminators in a way, sitting in grand finals.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and pull out something. Maybe go through a few replays of that loss they had to them in the upper bracket, because they did get 4-1'd by them. And not only do they need to try and win one series to take it to Rocket Log, they need to win 2 series in a row, 2 best of 7s, and that is... If I'm talking about the history of professional Rocket League, and this is, I'm a bit shady with the exact details, but I'm pretty sure it's only happened about 2 or 3 times in the entire of Rocket League, about 6 years worth of gameplay at the highest level. A reverse sweep, a bracket reset dub in that final is near impossible, let alone a team that just beat you 4-1. So it will be very interesting to see if they can even be a part of that history, make that history come alive in that upper bracket if they can take it to Rocket Log. But a really good showing here from Monash, and a team for their first season, they are looking extremely ready, and I'm very interested to see even how they go in seasons to come.
Yeah, certainly. It's like a new king is out to play in a way, and they're looking for blood on this Rocket Log lineup. And it's interesting because we wouldn't have picked this team particularly to walk out of this series with the victory in the same way that we didn't expect Rocket Log to walk out of their series with the victory going up against Beat Lethal. So this is kind of two underdogs that have found themselves in grand finals, taking down Titanic, longtime favorite competition members. To be able to, find themselves in this sort of a grand final position. So it's very exciting. This is going to be, fresh blood that is going to be taking the crown for the season. And I'm going to be keen to see who it's going to be.
Yeah, and we just look at the bracket real quick to close things off. As I said, that final game you are not going to want to miss here on the AEL channel. Will be brought to you, I believe, possibly on Sunday, but don't quote me on that. But definitely want to see that rematch there. But just a great showing. And one thing I do love about Uni League is there are such great high-level teams, and the teams that we saw in the last season's grand final, none of them are around. Beating Lethal, was the final team to regain from that grand final as of last season, and now they're knocked out. We have two fresh teams in that final, and it's going to be amazing to see. As I said, that bracket reset you do not want to miss out on, and we do want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors and everyone that helps make this possible, and everyone behind the scenes as well. But we do have Chatime, Predator, AOC, Indomie, and Rig headsets, and absolutely amazing series here today. And yeah, I just want to, any final thoughts, Kadius?
No, I've pretty much expressed everything that I want to express, really. Just, two underdog teams looking to make themselves a, grand champion for the first time. It's always exciting when there's, a new king on the throne, especially heading into, 2022 future seasons of the AEL Uni League. Potentially, to come back and defend their title as, teams that nobody really expected to win. Definitely not teams that have won in the past. But certainly, I'm going to be interested to see if Monash Ball Chasers, they've got their work cut out for them with the reset, like you said. If they're going to be able to make that bracket reset happen against UCID Rocket Log, who are a very dominant team in their own right, and take it all the way to a win. It's going to require them winning 8 total games of Rocket League as opposed to only 4 in that first series for the Rocket Log squad. So definitely is going to be a bit of an uphill climb, but not one that's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. It will be a battle for the ages. If Monash can really play like that, there's nothing that they can't achieve as a team. But that is all from us tonight. One great series coming at ya, and we will be back shortly in the next coming days with that final grand final. So that is all from us today. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.